The first Barbie doll, created in 1959 by Ruth Handler and her husband Elliot Handler, was introduced in 1959. Since then, Mattel has sold over 1 billion Barbies, with different iterations enjoying various hobbies and careers. The Barbie craze was reignited when Greta Gerwig directed a live-action Barbie movie. However, the brand has faced controversy, including criticism for its ambiguously Asian 2020 Tokyo Olympics Barbie. In 2020, Mattel apologized for the mistake and has acknowledged the feedback. Despite these criticisms, the Barbie craze remains a popular childhood toy. The company has faced criticism for not representing the Asian community with its Skateboarder doll. Slumber Party Barbie arrived on the scene with a scale. Mattel developed Slumber Party Barbie in 1965, which the corporation undoubtedly hoped would please children and their parents. She arrived wearing a pink robe and satin pajamas and bringing her own hair and beauty products, including curlers, a blue comb, and bobby pins. Sure, it's gender normative, but it's cute for the time, right? She may have been if Slumber Party Barbie hadn't also come with her own pink bathroom scale set to 110 pounds and a diet book titled How to Lose Weight that looked like it came straight from a horror museum. On the back of the book, there were prominent weight loss instructions. Don't eat. The next year, Mattel removed the contentious scale from the set. Slumber Party Barbie's manual, on the other hand, survived. The doll recalls the numerous criticisms leveled by fans and critics of Barbie over the years, the majority of which have been on the unrealistic body image standards that the doll appears to promote. Gayla Slayan, a HuffPost contributor, provided a photo of a weird mannequin she constructed for a school project in April 2011, which was modeled on Barbie's unrealistic body proportions. She stands around 6 feet tall with a 39-inch bust, 18-inch waist, and 33-inch hips. She reminds us of something we once adored while demonstrating the absurdity of our obsession with perfection. Video Girl Barbie could actually record kids while they played. In 2010, the FBI sent an incorrect alert to the media. The alert contained a warning that caught many people off guard because the subject was none other than Barbie herself, especially Video Girl Barbie, which had been launched that year. While the name might have raised some eyebrows among parents and caregivers, especially given the rise of video girls online, the FBI was concerned that Video Girl Barbie had an actual camera inside her chest, which could potentially be used to record children without their knowledge or consent. This alert, however, was not intended to be made public. The doll was hugely popular with children at the time. According to a local Toys R Us employee, lines of consumers formed to purchase the Barbie, and the doll was eventually sold out. Video Girl Barbie was finally phased down, but that hasn't prevented collectors from seeking down the dolls that are still available. Mexico Barbie was criticized for being a tired trope. Mattel was back in the news in 2013 after releasing the poorly received Mexico Barbie. Despite the company's efforts to increase diversity, Mattel received criticism for playing into one too many stereotypes while launching the doll. Mattel characterized Mexico Barbie, who was part of the brand's Dolls of the World series, as dressed for a fabulous fiesta, and came with 2 accessories, a chihuahua and a passport. It sounds to me like Mattel took some shortcuts, said Jason Ruiz, a professor of American Studies at Notre Dame University, to ABC News. What about the bright pink ribbons in her hair? Is that a chihuahua? That sort of thing is very simple to utilize. He went on to say that many depictions of Mexicans and Mexican Americans use the same cliches. Mexican Americans are tired of being seen as merely colorful, he remarked. Claudia Martinez, a Mamas Latinas staff writer, chimed in. While all of the Dolls of the World Barbies had passports, she found it jarring that Mexico Barbie had one, considering the continuing discussions over immigration from Mexico and other Central and South American countries. It's difficult not to notice that the progress you thought you had been made has been taken for granted if you happen to be one of the cultures that is constantly bombarded with stereotypes, Martinez said. 2014's Barbie Babysitter was underwhelming. Mattel released a new Barbie Babysitter doll in 2014. This was the brand's second try at using the name, and it was just as strange as the first. Barbie Babysitter was released in 1963 and came with the same How to Lose Weight diet book as Slumber Party Barbie. Barbie Babysitter was included in a collection of careers the second time around. The inclusion of a babysitter might not have been so controversial if it hadn't been mixed in with jobs like nurse, doctor, ice skater, music instructor, and entrepreneur. In other words, the remaining occupations were more mature. Mattel might have rescued the day, as the gamer pointed out, by making this Barbie an early childhood education specialist. Barbie could have even managed a daycare. The company might have pursued a variety of other choices instead. Oreo Barbie was considered racist and damaging. Mattel collaborated with Nabisco in 1994 to design a Barbie doll that would promote both brands positively. Oreo Barbie was born, a blonde, blue-eyed white doll clothed in an Oreo-themed blue frock. The doll was so popular that Mattel released another set of Oreo Barbies in 2001. One of the dolls this time was black. While it's safe to believe that the brand's intentions with the doll were good, it's simple to see why this would be insulting. Oreo is a disparaging term for a black person who acts white. The doll's release is a terrific example of why it's critical for all brands to have diverse leadership. The doll was met with fury and disbelief, and it was eventually discontinued. While one would think that Mattel would never make the same error again, this was not the case. Over a decade later, the business teamed up with Ritz and created, wait for it, Ritz Cracker Barbie, who played into yet another clear racial slur. Rappin' Rockin' Barbie was wrong on nearly every level. Mattel went out on a limb and introduced Rappin' Rockin' Barbie in 1992. This Barbie debuted alongside 3 of her companions, Teresa, Christy, and Ken, and each of the 4 dolls had its own boombox that even played music. Mattel clearly intended to make a splash during an era that many regard to be the peak of rap and hip-hop, but things didn't quite go as planned. Many of the problems with Rappin' Rockin' Barbie are obvious. The white, blue-eyed doll wears a gold chain, huge hoop earrings, and gold rings, all of which are blatantly hijacked from a culture with which Barbie has no prior experience. While the doll was not removed from the shelves, she undoubtedly left a terrible taste in the mouths of a lot of people. Share a smile, Becky, who was actually a crippled doll. You can't win by losing, and that's exactly what occurred when Mattel launched Becky, its first crippled doll. Although it was a step in the right direction in terms of consumer inclusion, many people were angry because Becky's hair was too long and would get stuck in the wheels of her wheelchair. Mattel altered the doll somewhat, making her wheelchair smaller and her hair shorter. However, some people were still dissatisfied. Becky's wheelchair did not fit in Barbie's Dreamhouse lift, according to a 17-year-old high school student with cerebral palsy. You can't please everyone, which is presumably why Mattel decided to retire the doll, rather than remodel Barbie's house, cars, and other equipment to accommodate one doll. Despite all these controversial dolls being out in the market and actually being sold, Mattel still to this day continues to manufacture countless Barbie dolls on a regular basis. Mattel has undoubtedly tried to match the upcoming trends, but it didn't always turn out the way it was intended to, which ended up offending a lot of people. But Barbie is still a symbol of childhood innocence and women empowerment among women. What are your thoughts about these controversial Barbie dolls? Which one have you bought, if you've bought any? And which one do you think was the worst of all? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. Give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so we can keep you updated about more news from the Barbie world.